So the title of my talk today is No Matter the Question, the Answer is You. About 10 or 12 years ago, Reverend Michael Beckwith, and I don't know if you all know Michael Beckwith, but he is an iconic minister in the New Thought movement out in California, in a suburb of California, Carson City or somewhere right out of LA. And he's an amazing guy. And about 10 or 12 years ago, Reverend Michael Beckwith wrote a book, and he published a PBS series titled The Answer is You. I added the no matter the question. The thought about the answer is you, and it doesn't matter what the question is that's a hard one. Sometimes that's difficult to hear and to live from, but yet it is true. No matter what is not feeling right in our life, or not going well in our life, we need to look no further than ourselves for the solution. We may or may not have been the cause, but we're always the solution. When we come to know that truth, it will set us free. But it is tough to hear, and it is hard to accept when we first hear it. I remember when my brother had his neck broken, I had just begun and he was paralyzed from the shoulder down, and I had just begun to go to the New Thought meetings and learn a little bit about it, and I was just furious when I heard that. I was like, there was no way he caused that. Why would he cause that, you know? And it wasn't about him causing it, which I came to understand later. What happened, happened. It was how he dealt with it. It's the solution that we bring to the problem is what counts. Because some awful things can happen. But we can either wallow in them, or we can make lemonade out of lemons. And there were many young men who were hurt at the same time my brother was, over about a 5-year period, who did try to commit suicide because they couldn't deal with what had happened to them. But that was not the solution. Was not the solution for my brother, and he went on to change the face of the handicapped because that was his choice on how to solve the problem that he had encountered. So we have to dig deeper into the truth. I had to dig deeper into the truth at that point in my life when I was learning this new thought about, and using my brother as the example and thinking how outlandish that was, to dig deeper into that truth and know that we're all going to have challenges. But it doesn't matter what the challenge is. The solution and how we deal with it and how we move through it and what we make of it is found within us. We then realize that our job is to learn how to go within, how to seek those answers. Because the truth and the wisdom and the solution and the answers are always in us. And when we get to that understanding, that truth will set us free. We will never give our power away to anything or anyone else ever again. And the first thing we have to learn is that deep inside of us, we already have all the answers. We are totally equipped to live on this planet. We just have not been told that, and some of us still maybe don't know that. But we do have all the answers already. We have to go within to find them. They're not out here somewhere. They're in us. Sometimes we know the answers, but we want to ignore it. We don't want to hear it. It's not what we wanted to hear. It's not what happened is not what we want to deal with. And so we want to ignore the answers even when we hear them because they don't fit our picture of what we really want. pretty ego-driven people, and we want things our way. We don't understand most of the time that the universe has our highest good in order. And the highest good for us is always there, and we don't know that, and so we don't trust that. So we have to come to a realization that we have a choice. We can take the bad that happens to us and search for the meaning, or we can grasp for survival and just try to muddle through it without realizing that within us are all of the truths and all of the answers. But you know, our ego doesn't want us to give up our old beliefs. Our ego would sometimes rather be right than happy. You've seen that, you know, we'd rather be right than happy. So instead of knowing there's another higher way to look at things and to deal with things, we'd just rather be miserable than change anything, because we want it just the way it used to be. Sometimes we forget to love ourselves. Sometimes we get to forget to just see the value in ourselves. We allow something or someone outside of us to be responsible for our feelings. No one's responsible for your feelings but you. We cannot let our pain or our happiness be the cause from someone else. We cannot give our power away to something or someone outside of ourselves. Our happiness depends on us. And that's how we were created. We were created to be powerful, not weak. We're here to acknowledge the God-given powers and to use them to the benefit of ourselves and our planet. And one of the points I'm going to make all the way through this talk this morning, it's not just about us. It's about more than us. We were put here for more than just ourselves. The most evolved state of consciousness in which to seek an abundance of good in our lives is to become a conscious participant in the laws that govern the universe. We talk about these laws just about every week. We have to be conscious. Am I participating in the laws that govern this universe so that I am getting my best? So I am coming from my highest good. So I have to be conscious. I have to be paying attention to what I'm paying attention to. And I have to participate in life in such a way that it not only benefits myself, but it also benefits others, and it also benefits our beautiful planet. We're not meant to be alone. We are all integrated with one another. There's a reciprocal universal law that says we humans are to care for ourselves and others, and to care for the animals and the plants and all living things on the planet. We humans were given stewardship. It's in Genesis, in the book of Genesis, in chapter 1, verse 25. We've been given stewardship. And the first thing we have to learn is that we are interdependent. We're interdependent with one another and with all of life. We can't hurt another person without hurting ourselves. We're part of an ego structure on this planet that is interactive and interdependent. And we can't ignore that. In that verse 25 in Genesis, it says that we humans, that God created man and gave man dominion over the earth. It means that we, humans, were given the responsibility to be good stewards of the earth, the animals, the plant life, because we have the reasoning power and the thinking power. Now, the word dominion sounds like we get to do whatever we want. We dominate. That is not what the original Aramaic word meant. It meant caregiver, caretaker. It meant steward, not dominion. We don't get to do or be irresponsible with how we deal with the other wonderful creatures and creations on this planet. Our reasoning capabilities and our thinking capabilities give us a greater responsibility to be wise, to be loving, to be self-loving, and loving to all others. Michael Beckwith says in that book, I like to say that we're not anticipants, we're participants. He loves to, he's a word, he makes up words, but they're always wonderful. So he says an anticipant lives in hope that one day the right job will just come along, or the right person will just come along, and it'll be the one that we've been waiting for. And I've had many people walk into my office over the years, and they don't have a job, and they don't know where their next meal is coming from, but they're waiting for God to tell them what to do with their life. And when God tells them what to do with their life, they'll know what to do. That's not how it works. We already have all the answers within us. In the very beginning of creation, God created us to know what to do, to treat others the way we wanted to be treated, to treat our planet with love and care and kindness. And we're not living in hope like an anticipant. I like his word. We are participants. Participants live in trust. We trust this now moment, even when this now moment doesn't look like we think it should. We need to trust that we live in a loving universe, that even though in this moment things may not look like we think we would like them to look, according to our own egoic mind, but we have to trust that this is a friendly universe and that it does have our best interest at heart from moment to moment. And we don't have to know what that is. I know all of you have had situations in your life where you can look back now and realize, man, it felt awful then, but it certainly has put me where I am now and has made me very happy with where I am now. He says participants don't wait for the cosmic 2x4 to hit them on the head with some sort of a magic solution, or to assume that things will just fall into place one day. We'll win the lottery, or we'll just believe something magic will happen. We have to participate. We have to know, though, when we participate, if there's a certain trust of trusting that this is a friendly universe, and that though it may not look friendly to us at this moment, that this universe is biased in our favor. It's biased in the favor of love and creativity and moving in an upward spiral of all that is good for everyone. We can fight that, and we often do, because at the moment that it's happening, it doesn't fit our picture. But we have to remember what we talk about here so many Sundays. The laws that govern our universe, the quantum field, the other laws that govern our universe, are impartial. They don't choose Cindy over Ray. They're impartial. The law of the quantum field is going to give back to you exactly what you gave to it in a vibrational way. So if I'm vibrating in a low, hard, unhappy, sad vibration, that's very low, I'll get back something that matches that. Won't be the exact same thing, but I'll get something that matches that vibration. So we are participants in our own good. We have to be paying attention of what we're thinking and the awareness that we have and the words that we speak and the way we treat one another and the way we treat our planet, because we have to remember these laws are impartial. They don't pick Becky over Lynn. They operate on a law of vibration. The higher your vibration, the higher your self-love, your love for others, your expectations, your participation in life, the more the good is going to come back to you. So if we're walking around with hate in our heart, or some low vibration that we're not even aware of, that's when we have to participate in our awareness, with our awareness. And that same low vibration is going to be returned to us in some way. So one of the ways that we have to be aware and to be a participant is to know and remember how these laws work, trust these laws, and trust that these laws do work in our favor when we are in alignment with them. To have a conscious participation in these laws means that we become highly skillful in understanding and applying those laws on a daily basis. To remember, what am I thinking right now? What am I vibrating right now? Do I want to bring that, call that back to me? And again, I'm going to emphasize, it's not just about us, it's how we're treating others at the same time. Where are we in our ability to cohabit and to interact and be creative and interdependent with others and with everything that is in and on our beautiful planet? Have to be aware of that. And sometimes when it feels really bad, we have to remember that what looks bad now, it was quite a while for me and my family to see anything good come from my brother's dreadful injury. But it did. But in the beginning, we had to trust that. There was nothing that was recognizable about that event that was good for anybody or anything. And so there has to be a trust that shines a light of an awareness in the places in our life where it doesn't look like this is a friendly universe, or it doesn't look like the universe is in our favor. We have to trust that that is what this universe is about. So a lot of our doubts and a lot of our fears we've had with us our whole life. Someone else taught us. Someone growing up taught us. Something that's happened to us in the past that gave us an experience that we didn't want to happen again taught us. And so we have to rise above that. We have to have a mind construct that is not what someone else passed on to us, or it's not some unhappy thing that we had in our life that we're trying to guard against ever happening again. We have to trust before we even see the results that we are living in a friendly universe, and that the amazing laws that we live by offer us all a level playing field. It's not what happens, it's what we do with it. You know, if we pay attention to our mind, often our mind is spinning out of control. We see all kind of limitations. We have all kind of doubts. We allow ourselves all kind of fear and worry. We can even disconnect with society and those around us. We can't do that. That's not the solution to the problems. That's our ego wanting to protect us. It isn't our highest spiritual self of possibility. When we notice those doubts and those fears and those things, those feelings we don't want, at that moment when we notice that is what we're thinking or feeling, we can say to ourselves, that thought no longer serves me. It may have served us at one time. It may have been a self-protection for us at one time. But that thought no longer serves us because now we know better. Now we know there's a higher, better way, and that we can participate in that. So he uses the word in his book called deconstruct. To deconstruct the thought, the moment you have that thought, to realize that thought doesn't serve us any longer. Now the next question is, how do I deconstruct? What does that mean? We take those old erroneous thoughts, the ones that may have served us early on or the way we may have thought it, and we begin to be aware of those thoughts. And we begin to replace them with higher ideas and ideals and beliefs and teachings, things that you may not have previously thought of or known. But that's the time at the moment that those negative thoughts come in, to replace them at that very moment. And when you tell yourself, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good enough, or look how talented she is and I'm not, and all those things that aren't true, notice them at that moment and change them at that moment. We've all made mistakes. We've all gone in a direction we didn't want to go because we didn't know any better. But once we know better, we know what the formula is. And when we get into that place where we're in that awareness, we absolutely have to learn that nobody else is doing it to us. Nobody can do it to you if you don't allow them to do it. And when you allow someone else to take away your joy, then you have given away your power. You were born with a power that was beyond your understanding, and you don't want to give that power away. So we want to claim our identity. Who am I? Who are you? We are eternal, infinite beings. We are no longer subject to the programming of what other people say or what we grew up hearing or what we think the results of the mistakes we used to make are who we are. We no longer live from that because that's that egoic self that wants to protect us. We begin to know the truth of who we are and to affirm that we live in a field of potential abundance in every area of our lives. We may not be tapping into it yet, but it's there. It's there for all of us. And all things are working together for our good. Now, we probably didn't grow up hearing that. I didn't. And maybe some of you did. I hope you did. But many of us didn't hear that all things work together for our good. And so we allowed the unhappy things to weigh us down, to set us back. But we have to claim our good. We have to claim our rightful place in this universe. We are all here to be loved beyond measure. And we have to start with loving ourselves. We live our life in loving ourselves or teaching other people how to love us. If I don't love myself, I'm teaching you, you don't have to love me either. But when I'm loving myself, when I'm knowing that I am valued and valued, then I am loving myself and I am teaching other people how to love me as well. None of us are more blessed or less blessed. It may appear that way. We're not. We may be on a different spectrum of what we know and think or how we go through life, but we're not any more or less blessed than anyone else. It's how we use those gifts. It's how we use our talents. It's how we use our capabilities. And we've all been given all kinds of different talents and capabilities. When I first started this talk, I used the phrase, the laws that govern the universe are impersonal. It's something we have to remember. There's no one more blessed than us or less blessed than us. These laws are totally impersonal. It's how we tap into them and how we choose to use them. They work the same for everyone all the time. But it's based on what we believe. What's my belief system? And based on my belief system is where my good or my not so good comes in. Because those laws work equally. Again, I'm going to say this one more time. No one can steal our joy unless we let them. No one can steal our power unless we let them. At the same time, here's the trick. It's not easy. At the same time, we can bless them on their way. We don't have to have them in our lives. And we can remember that only love heals, and that they're not my problem. My problem is my own joy, my own happiness, my own sense of self-worth. And I have to have that before I can teach others to have that. You're not being treated kindly, know that you deserve it. You deserve to be treated kindly, even if you're not. And don't allow anyone else to treat you badly. Life's too short, and there are too many good people out there to let someone treat us badly. Walk away if you must. But when you walk away, here's the key. Wish them love. Wish them the best. That's the hardest thing we have to learn to do. We have to wish them well. We want the best for them as much as we want the best for ourselves. And when we can have that frame of mind, so much good comes back into our lives. It is amazing. The universe will always send you the best when you send out the best. So we get to choose from moment to moment how we participate in this life. We get to choose whether we take the high road and the spiritual of us, or whether we come from our ego, our self-protection, our isolation, whatever it is that makes us feel like we have to choose misery over joy. It all goes back, I have to say it again, being able to do that, being able to switch how we look at life and how we feel about life, and being able to wish others well who have not treated us well. In order to be able to do that, we have to trust that this is a friendly universe, that God and good are synonymous. We have no idea what God is. We know it's a very high vibration, just like love is a very high vibration. We have to trust that. We have to trust that that power of love wants the highest and best for us all. And when we think that way, the highest and best comes to us all. Nobody can make you happy if you choose to be unhappy, and nobody can make you unhappy if you choose to be happy. We get to choose. No one can take our choices away from us. No one can take your choices away from you. Our responses to our feelings are our own responsibility. And what I want for all of you is that you choose life and that you choose love. He says in his book, and I kind of like this sentence, he says that all of life is structured so that we can cultivate our ability to love unconditionally. We really all came here on this planet to learn to love unconditionally. This was what made Jesus the master teacher, because he was always teaching an unconditional kind of love. And that's what we're to be learning, is how to love unconditionally, starting with ourselves. Starting with ourselves. We need to love ourselves unconditionally. How many of you talk badly to yourself? How many of you tell yourself you're stupid or don't do that. Don't do that. We all do it, but don't do it. Love yourself. Say only kind and loving things to yourself. Only allow others to say kind and loving things to you. We're on this earth to be in relationship, and you're in relationship with everybody. You're in relationship with the checker at HEB, you're in relationship with each other here. Wherever you are, you're in relationship when you are relating to another person. Whether it's a deep friend or a relative, or it's just someone who's serving you in a store. In that moment, you're in relationship. And relationships are our school. We came here to learn how to grow and how to love. But we really came to how to love, learn how to love unconditionally. And I'm going to emphasize this again. We have to learn to love ourselves unconditionally first. I can't love you unconditionally if I don't know how to love me unconditionally. So this is the school we're in. It's learning that love is the only thing that heals. Love is the only healing, harmonizing planet energy. The only energy on our planet that heals is love. And if you look around, it looks like we spend an awful lot of time being angry and feeling hurt and wounded and sometimes hating other people. And the truth is, that energy is just going to bring us more of that manifestation. So if you're in a relationship where you're not being treated well, love yourself unconditionally, remove yourself from that relationship, knowing full well that something and someone better is on its way to you now. And it will be, but you have to expect it, and you have to be that. See, if I want to be in a great relationship, I have to be that which I want. That's how we attract. The energy vibration we put out is the one we're going to get back. So in this conscious participation, we have to remember the quantum field and how it works and how our vibrations work and how our own energy works, and what we're thinking and what we're feeling and what we're speaking, because that's what's going to come back to us. So, as I said in the beginning, no matter the question, the answer is you. So all the solutions to all our pain and hurt are in us. We know how to overcome it. We know how to live differently and better. We know how to give our best to this universe we live in. We know how to make sure others give us their best and respect us. And it all comes from being able to trust that we do live in a loving, giving universe. So let's take that into a moment of reflection and meditation, and just think about some of the ways, and just take a deep breath or two and lay things aside, and take in that thought that we just explored, that it's what we put out and how we do it that makes the love come back to us. We may have never heard that. We may have never experienced that. This may be new for some of us. So that's okay. Just be with it. Be with it as though the first time you ever heard it. You know, we love and we live in a very loving universe, one we can trust, one that is biased in our favor, one that is predicated on love, and it requires each one of us to contribute to that loving, trusting. For as we do, it comes back to us 100-fold. So if there's someone in your life that has hurt you or that does hurt you, you don't have to stay, you don't have to deal with it, but as you go, wish them the best, wish them love. That's taking the high road, that's living from our highest spiritual self and not our ego. As I wish someone else the best, I know the best comes back to me. I may not yet see it, and that's okay, but it will happen. So if there's someone in your life that has given you grief, or gives you grief, wish them love, surround them in love. Know that you don't have to participate. You don't have to be in their presence. They don't have to be in your life. But send them love, surround them in love. Only love can heal. And as we heal ourselves, our highest and best comes to us. So whatever may be going on in your life that is perplexing to you, or negative to you, or a feeling of discontent, send it love, surround it in love. Give your best, no matter what. trust this friendly, loving universe to give back to you 100-fold. So just in the silence for a few minutes, think of where we've talked about this morning may fit in to your life right now. Wherever that place is, send love out there. Send love. Know that as that healing takes place, your healing takes place. Your highest good comes to you. The universe is predicated only on good. Wonderful thing for us to remember. And so breathe that in. Take that with you out into this day. Look for ways to love yourself, to overcome, to move beyond, whatever it might be that doesn't feel right. Know that the power in you, the love in you, surrounds you right now. And you can send that out. And you can know it will return. And so for this we give thanks. As we move into this holiday season, for what we celebrate in this season is love. The birth of love on this planet. To remind us in the form of Jesus, to remind us that love conquers all. And that love, unconditional love, was the teaching of Jesus. So we celebrate and bless the season knowing that, and so it is. Together, our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a time,